Hey guys, welcome to House 317. I'm your host again, Rodney, joined by our two permanent roommates,
right.
Josh and Brandon.
What's up, guys?
We're here to talk about Falcon and Winter Soldier episode Trace. Oh man,
so much.
That was a lot. That was a lot.
Yeah, absolutely a lot. There's tons of great fight scenes. A great scene, Winter Soldier coming out of his shell again. We get a little bit about that roughness and. So much there to just enjoy.
Calm down.
Slow down.
I know there's there. I enjoyed every moment.
So
of it.
let's talk about first couple of scenes. They realize, hey, we got to go talk to Zemo, right? We have to go talk to them. We're dealing with super serum soldiers. How did this get leaked? Who figured this out? And so Sam and Bucky get to the complex where he is. They're about to go in,
But he's
and
like,
yeah, I got this. I got this.
I
I got history with the guy.
That's
Let
right.
me take care of him.
Yeah.
So explain to me that scene. He starts in Russian? Yes? Is it Russian?
Sokovian?
Maybe. So he starts with the words, right?
Maybe.
yeah.
Who knows?
Yeah.
Some other language.
Yes.
Not
Not
that.
English. That's all I know.
He starts with the keywords.
Yeah.
Like that,
Yeah.
testing him because he knows that he's already turned over a new leaf like we talked about in the last episode. But yeah, I think he's just throwing a little jab at him.
Mm-hmm. Well, and he hints at it a little bit, and I call it foreshadowing, but he says there's something still there.
Yeah.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
And you're like, oh man, this is not going to
I
go
just
in the
gotta
right
say,
direction.
like, this whole episode, I felt just tense.
Oh, absolutely.
Like, I was so on the edge of my seat the entire time just because every scene felt just insane.
It was not a
Something's
slow
about to
episode.
happen. Yeah.
Like everything was on the point, kept us moving. I mean, I didn't feel the time for that one.
No.
I just want more. I want more of that.
This one was definitely more action-oriented than story-driven. Episode 2 was really into developing story, addressing conflict.
Of course.
And so we get Baron Zemo out, which, ninja, by the way, all it took was a piece of paper. Like, when you drop it all back, all it took was a little piece of paper.
Well
So
done.
it speaks to the mastermindness of Baron Zemo, right? Bucky and Sam are at this location. Sam is like, where the heck are we? And then in walks Zemo.
My favorite part.
In walks Zemo.
Oh my gosh.
Let's talk about favorite part. And then also let's talk about the plan and just how much distrust there is between those two and Zemo.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, the part of just Bucky trying to hold back Sam because Sam is like, what are you doing?
Right?
And Zemo trying to, he's like, if I may. And they're like, no.
Oh. No! I mean, it really set the tone for the rest of the episode. Like, Zemo, that character, was fantastic. I mean, like...
I love Zemo now for some reason.
Right?
I'm supposed to.
No.
I love Zemo.
Like, you're not supposed to ideally love the villain, but, like, here, you're just like, it's too funny.
He just does a phenomenal job. Like,
Oh,
the
yeah.
actor, I don't know his name off the top of my head.
But Sam immediately hits Bucky with, what are the repercussions for all of this? They're going to blame us for this.
Mm-hmm.
What is your relationship? He even brings up Wakanda. Like, this guy killed King T'Challa.
T'Chaka.
Get it
T'Chaka. So immediately we get that relationship fracturing piece. And then Zemo really takes charge and says, here's what we're going to do. Here's where we're going. You're going to play your roles. And so unpack that, because to me it feels like he is starting to move the chess pieces. And there's something else to me going on back there.
Well,
How did it feel like to you guys?
I mean, I get what you're saying, but like I think they took a back seat on purpose because, I mean, this is Zemo's territory anyway,
Right.
so they have no clue. Like, they would be flying in blind. So they have to follow his lead because
Right.
if not, they're kind of out of luck.
I mean,
Oh, absolutely.
so I'm super average Joe with all of these characters, and so I didn't know he was a baron. And
Right?
He just rolls up and like, I got my own private jet
It was
with
just
my
like,
butler.
I am
I got my
royalty.
own and so I'm like, what is happening? And they get that kind of feeling like, who is this guy? You had money the whole time?
And the whole Marvin Gaye joke was
Oh my
That was pretty
Yes.
good. Completely inappropriate, but so true.
he's true.
Yes. Just God, that was so funny.
It was good. But, there's still that distrust on all three of them. them. And that kind of gets stripped away as soon as they enter match 4, right?
Yeah,
and so, let's talk about that scene of where, Bucky and Sam had to relinquish control, had to relieve, really just give Zemo everything. They said, gotta act your part, we're gonna die if you don't. And he takes control of both those guys.
And a snake shot.
Oh my god!
I don't know if we really know what was in that snake shot.
I don't think I want to know what was in the snake shot.
It was in the snake. Yeah. All I gotta say is they took something out of the
not
snake.
Anymore.
That was gross.
Yeah, that was gross.
But being able to see Winter Soldier back and beating the crap out of everybody was amazing.
Mind you.
Yeah, it was great to see.
And I almost kind of wonder. So if you look back to episode 2. Where, obviously he got his tail kicked, there by the little girl, which was hilarious. You almost kind of wonder how much was he really pulling back in that moment.
Yeah, I mean, he's going through therapy.
Exactly. So, in that moment, he's still trying to abide by those rules of therapy. Don't hurt anybody.
Yeah.
But here, he has to go back to that character.
Yeah.
And you kind of see him get into that deep space and then just relinquish all that. And then you also get Zemo stating, see how easy that was to go back?
Yeah.
And so I think that's that hint back to the very beginning of the episode where it's like, there's still something there. Which makes me kind of intrigued on Bucky's story a little bit. Like, does he ultimately accept part of that as his reality, that's always going to be there? And is that part of his story arc here? Or is that him, just he had to do what he had to do in the moment? And, does that end up having repercussions?
Yeah.
So then we talk about the immediate scene after that, right? So, yes, Winter Soldier gets activated. They bring him back to this back room, which is what Baron even wanted all along. He wanted to get a conversation with whatever the lady's name is. Doesn't matter. She got shot. She did. But the real intense scene that happened there with Sam, right? His phone starts ringing and... Oh my God!
Put on the spot, man.
Dude played it off almost perfectly
so
until
close.
that last little bit.
Right.
So close, and so they know immediately something's not right. That whoever the guys Sam is playing, Black Tiger, White Tiger,
Smiling Tiger,
Smiling Tiger, and so they really realize, hey, something's not right here. We got to wrap this up. We got to kill all these people, right?
Yeah.
And so not that we weren't already intense from the original bar fight scene, but now we're in this. Oh goodness!
There's a bounty on my head.
There's a bounty on my head, and then the immediate text back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And so, explain to us really what your thoughts were on that scene, and then leading up to Sharon Carter.
Well, okay. So, couple of things here. The texting scene immediately gives me that John Wick vibe, but you kind of get that assassin mode reality. That's kind of that world there. So to see all that happening so quickly was just kind of an instant vibe for that, and love that. But then you get Sharon Carter to come back, and you get a taste of her right there within Civil War and like what she can do. But like this episode and how it unpacks, like she's in a very dark place now. Yeah. She's obviously had it rough, so she's had to step it up a little bit. Yeah. And to hear that story, just that was there. But also, Bucky just kind of like, well, she's awful now, and just the whole stream of comments there was just fantastic. But it's just like, man, just see her in action. You almost kind of wonder, does she end up taking, not to be called Black Widow or anything, but like, do we eventually see her take kind of that role?
I never knew she was that
gangster.
Much of a
gangster. Yeah.
Like, oh my gosh.
So, episode 1 and 2 developed Sam and Bucky Barnes. And then we transition to episode 3 where it's now Baron Zemo and Sharon Carter, right? And so we're developing these two, and it sounds like, they're bringing their team together, right? It feels that way, that this is going to be their team moving forward.
Is this a Revengers Part 2?
Revengers.
I also got to mention the dance club scene and seeing Zemo dance. It's just a subtle little scene, just
classic dad dance move.
That was definitely dad dancing. So, they get out of this situation. Sharon is like the guardian in the sky, shooting all these people up. And they get out of that. that situation a little bit too easy. Not quite sure what we read into it there, but it just feels like she just scooped them up, took them to her place, right? They get the next lead. The next lead ends up being this doctor that we find out ends up being able to develop the serum in a way that it can be given to humans. And he says he created 20 superhuman
but
soldiers.
in a way that doesn't just jack you up like Captain America.
Right.
It's more subtle, like me or you, and then
you get to fly under the radar at that point.
Right. Which is even more dangerous, some would argue. And so, there's where we get to see Sharon Carter really shine, right? So she's guarding these three as they're having this conversation with
like
this
a dozen
doctor.
guys, right?
I mean, she's got to have taken out a ton of them. And so in that scene, in that lab, you see Zemo, and his character has that unfinished business. Like when Bucky went to that cell and told him what was going on, he's like, I'm activated, right?
It was like a light bulb.
I need to go take care of this because this is my problem. I don't want these people out there. And so there's that piece. And then, kaboom, things explode, right? And they're completely fine.
Yeah, totally fine.
Just going to walk out of, doesn't crash, just blowing up.
And then there's that scene of Sam and Bucky not being on the same page at all.
You go left,
I go right. Yeah. The other left. And so, so it speaks to them still developing that team piece, developing each other's trust, knowing each other's little intricacies that a real team would know or would just sense. And so it's really nice to see the development there, that we're brought into that world where they're still developing that teamwork. And so, I thought Zemo was just going to leave them. Peace out.
Right before the explosion.
Yeah.
Right after.
I mean, he puts on the mask for the first time. You get that sense. I mean, like him making the big explosion there, which was great. But yeah, I mean, like that was his perfect opportunity to roll out. Yet he stays behind.
Mm-hmm. He goes up in a nice little ride.
Oh, I know.
I also like the callback to with Sam in the back seat.
Oh,
it calls back to Civil War. Like,
can you move your seat up? No.
But it was real interesting because, Brandon, you brought up in the last episode that, or maybe it was you, Josh, that you wanted to see both sides of him, both the mastermind piece and like maybe some of his ninja skills.
And he showed that.
He definitely showed some ninja skills. And so
I didn't think that was actually...
Yeah,
I think he could do all that, but I'm for it.
I really thought he was just a mind, right? But he definitely showed us that he's got some skills, for sure. So he pulls up in the ride, they take off, unpack our next sequence of scenes, and really what's going through your brain as we lead up to the final scene.
I mean, you kind of get some backstory with the Flag Smashers and Carly.
We're really trying to bring you to their side.
Yeah, I mean, and you start, there's that gray area that we talked about before, where you're starting to feel for them and kind of see what they're getting at. But then that kind of...
Yeah, the tables turn in an instant.
You're just going to kill somebody? Okay.
Yeah, like the fact that she just all of a sudden is like, buckle up, and you're just like, are you telling them to buckle up like that?
So you're absolutely right. That initial scene of her having the conversation with her lackey, it humanizes her. But then at the same time, after they took over the complex, and then she just lights the place on fire, explosion, hello. Then you realize, these people are not so human, right? They are here to create chaos. They want to bring the world back to where it was when, in their eyes, it's more unified. But we're going to get to that in the ways of killing all of these people.
Yeah. So to wrap things up, all right. So we're past this point. We're getting towards the end of the episode. They're just kind of walking through, this street area. You get a little backstory from Zemo where he's talking about, hey, have you guys ever gone and visited the area? Did you know things were been taken over? So that's going to be really interesting to see what we learned happened to Sokovia. Maybe we get a little bit of, maybe that's where Wanda is and we got a little different area there. Maybe there's some crossover. Maybe not. Could be some other interesting stories. We won't theorize that yet.
This guy's the one that made WandaVision, so...
Listen, it was too easy, honestly. And I'm going to go the same way here. I won't unpack that today. We'll wait till episode 4.
We also need to talk about the Wakanda little necklace balls, which I spotted. I'm like, That's Wakanda's.
I had
that's,
no
that's
idea.
Wakanda tech.
Right? Well, I mean, like, you got to think about the impact he had on them.
Yeah.
And it's just like, oh, there's so many things that can come out of that.
I wouldn't be upset if we got a little bit of Shuri, because girl's fine.
Okay.
Well, that's there. That's there now.
That's not, I didn't say it, Jenny. And so,
no. Let's say a thing.
So we talk about at the very end.
As long as you know.
Yeah.
So at the very end, bringing us back.
Rewind.
At the very end,
We'll bleep that up.
Wakanda comes into the picture, right? And so to me, that's addressing consequences.
Yeah.
So the consequence of breaking out Baron Zemo, the consequence of him going on this rampage out in Newtown. And so, I think that episode 4 is going to be dealing with consequences, unpacking the reasoning and whether they understand or not.
And you got to think that Bucky is going to probably hand Zemo, or try to hand Zemo over to the people of Wakanda.
Right.
So are they done with them? Do you feel like they're
No,
done with them?
with Zemo?
No,
Yeah.
No. Zemo's going to last.
I was about to say,
No.
they just got started. Okay.
Yeah. No, he's got a lot more.
Yeah, I didn't mean like episode 4, he's just going to be
Donezo. I mean, there's only 6, so maybe. That feels really terrible that we're already halfway through.
Yeah.
So, anyways, all right. So that wraps up this episode. If you guys have any comments, want us to talk about anything like that, leave it in the notification section or in the comments section.
Yeah, I mean,
hit that notify button and make sure you subscribe.
I'll just say too, and we didn't mention kind of in the first episode, that we're going to be probably going back into the MCU movie timeline eventually, probably after the break in between Falcon and Winter Soldier and Loki. That won't be until June, so we might hit a couple of movies in between that.
Right. And
so just to give you an idea. Yeah. Some trailer reactions too, if we can pull that off.
Oh, absolutely.
So, other than that, subscribe right here.
Right.
Maybe.
This box, I think that's right here.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Right over your face.
You could put it over my face.
Yeah.
That's it, guys. Y'all take care. We'll see you next time.
See ya.